Well, my book, there we go, Crowd Control. So what it's all about, the subtitle is Forget Everything You've Been Told About Sales and Marketing. This is the new normal, just to kind of play on it. So what it does is it redefines what we go about sort of doing. So the kind of tagline of the methodology is, you will never have to sell anything again except free stuff. So, and a lot of people going like, oh, how can I do this and stuff? So we work with anybody who's in the services industry. So speakers, coaches, facilitators, trainers, mentors, and all that field, because it's easier to use the framework around that.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. And Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. And you can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today it's my pleasure to welcome Bruce Wade from South Africa. He is a professional speaker, author, coach, and podcaster, and he is going to offer us new perspectives on issues of life and business. It's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag tonight. So Bruce is a strategy adventurer who toils with the issues of sustainability, innovation, and profitability with his global base of clients. Often described as purposeful and driven, he has a huge heart for the people he works with and shares a passion for the capability growth of both individuals and communities. Drawing on his superpowers gleaned from the bat, he has created many models and frameworks that are agile, adaptable, and laser focused on the issues at hand. And we'll talk to Bruce a little bit later on about his book. Welcome, Bruce.
Good, thank you very much, and hello to all the listeners and viewers and people of the web.
All the good stuff. So tell me a little bit about what you do.
So I've got an interesting history. I kind of started out my career in the ocean. I was a merchant naval officer for a time, driving ships around the planet. And then I got into computers, and I spent far too many years in corporate doing the IT stuff. And luckily for me, I was retrenched about 25 years ago. And that was the kind of kick in the butt that I needed. And I came back to South Africa. We were working in Holland at that time, and came back, and I took 6 months off, wrote a book, and started my own company. And we've been doing all sorts of wonderful things with different people over the years. But the last 10 odd years been really focused in on creating innovative coaching strategies to help people take their, those ideas that kind of sit in the fog at the back of your mind. I want to take those and make them real and make them profitable and change the world. So we do have world domination kind of tactics, but we do it one entrepreneur at a time, and we're slowly getting there.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful. Take over the world.
Yeah.
So what kind of companies do you work with, Bruce?
So we've got a kind of a three-prong approach at the moment. We do a lot of strategy work with nonprofits around the the globe at the moment, helping them. So we've got a little tagline: we help put the profits back into non-profits. And I think with the advent of economic disasters and COVID and everything else there, the money flowing into non-profits is really being reduced. So a lot of those organizations are going to have to re-strategize to say, how do we re-gear and reframe ourselves to create income streams? So we've got a number of strategies and products that we sell into that area to help create that form of income, but without losing the social impact of them. We don't want to make them into companies, but we help them become more efficient and to bridge that gap between available money and expenses. So that's quite a nice focus. We meet some really interesting people all around the world on that one. And my big focus, my kind of spearhead focus, is working with professional speakers, coaches, facilitators, anybody who kind of speaks for a living, whether it's virtual or live. Not that virtual's not live, but in person. And I've got a couple of strategies to help leverage that, because the gig economy of going from, one talk to another, to one contract to another, is kind of fading, and we've had to again reframe and refocus that. So that's been a big effort for us. And that then has created this new methodology, which we sell, called crowd control. And it says, well, why do sales when you can do crowd control? So stop selling and start making your product so viable that people literally queue up outside your home or your office, screaming and shouting to say, I want more, I want more. And that's what that whole methodology is about. And then our third little prong that I like to play in is marketing. So we've got this thing called blue water marketing strategies, which again takes the box of marketing, throws it out the window and say, let's do things different. What if we could be so different that marketing is now all about building relationships instead of selling products? And yeah, so we take those 4 P's of marketing and the 7 S's of sales, and we literally burn them in the fire, and we then look at, say, how do we build marketing strategies that are so different that when people look at you and say, you can't do that, but we do, and we change a whole lot of businesses. So a lot of the stuff you can see that we do is very different, very kind of, left field, but it works. And that's what people need now. We can't do what we were doing a year ago. In fact, you can't even do what we were doing a month ago, because the world is changing so fast and so rapidly, and people are re-gearing and, hunkering down with all their effort, and we need to now find a way forward for companies to get into this new post-COVID, pre-COVID, whatever it is, because every day it's a different thing. How do we manage the landscape today as a business owner? It's very difficult.
It is. I mean, I'm not doing the same as I was a year ago. I mean, I didn't even have a podcast a year ago. There you go. But yeah, even in my business, it's just different, because there's hybrid events now, which that was never even thought of a year ago. Like beginning of last year, hybrid events were just not a thing, and now that we can meet face to face, they still beaming them out, because people just can't get to the venue, and they're still making money out of these events, whether it's an in-person or a virtual. So it's the strategies. You're right. People have had to change the way they do stuff, because it's never going to be the same. There's never going to be going backwards. There's just going to be moving forwards and change, and it'll just change and keep changing until someone comes up with a new wheel.
Yeah, and things, this time next year, we'll go back and go, oh my goodness, we didn't know that the world would change so much. And this is what I personally trained 100,000 people last year in how to use Zoom. And I'm still getting people come back and, saying, oh yeah, how do you click? How do you open an account? And I'm going, oh my goodness, yeah. Knowing online platforms should be your entry level point as a business owner. It's not something you learn on the fly. It's something you should be learning. It's a required essential skill to be able to get online.
It is now, yeah, where it never was. But Zoom's making $1 squillion now because people just can't leave their house. But in that way, COVID's been good for society in a whole because because we can't just go to someone's house anymore. And if we want to talk to people, whether it's in business or in personal, you have to Zoom call or Facebook time or whatever it is. And so you can talk forever, you can hang up whenever you want to, and really the world's your oyster now. You can talk to people around the world that you couldn't, and that you couldn't talk to before.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, every company is a global company. And a lot of people haven't realized that massive paradigm shift. You say, I used to just be in my area and 5 kilometers radius of where I could sell. Now, all of a sudden, you're a global company. And if people aren't thinking of their businesses as global companies, then they've missed the boat. It's gone.
Yeah. That's very true because people have had to change the way they think about stuff, and if they don't shift their thinking, then you're right, they'll be left behind, and their competitors will just be stealing all their clients.
Yep. And that's what Zoom did. Zoom stepped up and said, this is what it is. And they left a whole lot of, unrealized potential with so many other companies. And a lot of the other companies were scrambling. All they could do was point fingers at Zoom and say, oh, look at the security, because they didn't know how else to respond other than trying to blame. And it was interesting. And Zoom's just gone strength to strength. And like you said, they are just printing money at the moment and are doing okay. And a lot of the other companies have done extremely well. Face masks and PPE and all those other things aside, there's a lot of people that have done very well in the last 18 months that I'm speaking to. And, in our area, people are buying houses and modifying houses and, you're going like, where's all this money? Yeah. And they're going, it's my best year ever.
People are saying they're having the best year they've ever had since COVID hit, because, they were smart enough to flip around and get on board the boat.
Yes, yeah. All those people are smart enough to hire me as a business coach. We're doing very, very well.
So tell me a little bit about your podcast, Bruce.
Well, we do an interesting stuff. I've looked at the podcasting and vlogging and this and this and this and stuff, and I do not have the personal discipline to do what you do, and to sit down and manufacture a podcast and do this so what we do, we've changed that, and we're creating these little societies of networks. And we've moved away from the podcast post and stuff there to create these little, let's call them mastermind groups. And we've set up a whole lot. And literally the week before South Africa went into lockdown last year, I started a new initiative, and I called it, Noon Gun Gathering. So every day here at 12 o'clock in town, in Cape Town, they fire off a cannon at noon. And so I said, well, let's just, it's a thing that's been gone for like 100 years. They've been firing this noon gun. It used to be a call to the ships in the harbor or something. But I thought, why don't we just gather online at noon every day for an hour? And I started this noon gun gathering, and every day people, and then we went into lockdown and no one was, I don't know what to do. And we have to pivot. And then everyone was holding on to that word, whatever that word means. It was like, if I can only pivot, I'll survive. So what we did is we started having conversations and we started having live interactions. And every day, I think for almost 3 months, we met at noon with anybody who wanted to come, and we brought in psychologists and counselors and coaches and marketing people and tech people and doctors to come and talk to us. And as we went through this change, we created a number of online conversations. And then out of that, we started to split because the group got too big. And I think there was about 7 or 8 companies that are now active that created themselves out of that through that collaboration. And now what we find is something really useful is we develop these little mastermind groups of people with like-mindedness to meet on a regular basis online. So it's not a broadcast, a podcast. And, you know, I listen to a number of podcasts because it's good there. But what we're finding, what people want is they want that conversation. They want that accountability and support. So we set up little WhatsApp groups and we set up live Zoom mastermind. So I personally go to one every Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock, every Friday at 8 o'clock, every second Friday at 10 o'clock. And then I meet with, we actually got four guys that we get together and we have supper together as often as we can. And at least once a month, we'll gather and we'll sit down and talk men stuff. And those we find are huge amount of support and structure. And it's got some people through some really tough times, you know, and as people have got sick and we've lost family members and we've gone through this whole thing about companies and lost income and, you know, all those issues and hurdles we found out that that has been a huge cornerstone to so many people's lives. So that's our kind of tactic that we've done there, but also reconnecting to all the tools and the different podcasts. So we bring in all those outside resources in, but that level of accountability and support has been absolutely key to the survival of a lot of people.
Yeah, I am part of a domestic and family violence awareness initiative here in Australia, and we hold free pamper days for survivors once a year, but we're hoping to develop those into having them more often. And I am in the process of organising a men's retreat. I won't be actually facilitating it, but I'm just organising the event, because I found in the state where I'm living, there's a lot of men, as you say, you know, have been really hard hit by this, whether there's been death in the family or, you know, through COVID or through suicide. A lot of it's been through suicide.
Wow.
And they've got nowhere, you know, really to talk to. So if I could get this men's retreat going, I think, you know, I think that would be really helpful. And I know there's amazing. A lot of men's organisations, but they're not really quite the same as going and meeting new people and, you know, finding like-minded people like themselves. So that's in the pipeline for me at the moment.
Wonderful. We are.
Yeah, so I think
we've got a lot of resources we can throw at that if you want to. So shout if you need some help with that. We've got
that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Of key speakers and facilitators and all that. So if you're short of any help with that, shout. I can give you 5 people straight away that would help with those organized that event.
Perfect. Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, tell me a little bit about your book.
Well, my book, there we go, Crowd Control. So what it's all about, the subtitle is Forget Everything You've Been Told About Sales and Marketing. This is the new normal, just to kind of play on it. So what it does is it redefines what we go about sort of doing. So the kind of tagline of the methodology is, you will never have to sell anything again except free stuff. So, and a lot of people going like, oh, you know, how can I do this and stuff. So we work with anybody who's in the services industry. So speakers, coaches, facilitators, trainers, mentors, and all that field, because it's easier to use the framework around that. And we then train and repurpose businesses to go out and do a lot of kind of coupon products, which is free products. So speak on podcasts, do memes, do short videos, and all these vines, and there's so many different stuff that's happening out there. Bomb videos are really big in Europe at the moment, and just looking at that, how to put your stuff out for free to attract attention to do that. And then where we go is we build a 10-step process through a product ecosystem to be able to create huge amounts of profits out of selling free stuff. So it goes back to that freemium model that a lot of people have spoken about and stuff. We get a lot of stuff for free that we don't know, but we pay for it in other ways. And I'm all for, all airplane flights should be free if you pay for the hotel that you're staying in at the other side. And your cell phone is free if you buy a contract, and your car that you buy for should be free if you pay for the services. So you can play around with that quite a lot, and you can do that. So we've brought that in there, and we've developed a brand new business methodology for that sector, and it is working. We use it internally within our own organization, and we've trained people literally around the world, and everybody has had such huge success that we just cannot stop. So now I finally got my book printed. I had to put that all into a book and get that out. So the first edition is now out, and it's on Amazon. Yes, got approved by Amazon 2 days ago. Thank you, Amazon. And it's available on our website as well. But what it does is it's not an easy read. It's not a story. It's a coaching intellectual journey of repurposing your business. But writing a book helps you understand what you've been talking about. So it was really much a self-therapy for me to get my thinking straight, because it's easy to coach somebody, but it's very hard to coach somebody else. And writing a book is exactly that. You've got to get all your thoughts in order, and to try and get stuff out of my brain is like trying to drink from a fire hose. So it's really difficult to simulate that down into words and kind of construct things rather than having these abstract thoughts flowing around. So that's been really, really productive. So that is number 6 in the library of Bruce Wade. So that's a nice edition to get out. So we're quite happy with that. It's been quite a journey to get that book out. It's been a huge mental exercise.
And your logo is very interesting. Quite like
the
it.
Little EM solutions, yes.
Yeah, I love the holding hands people, and the E is like really like, I don't know, like a gate and a bit of stairway, and very interesting.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun developing that. So what happened about 4 years ago, one of my clients, Michelle, she's in accounting. She ran a lot of the accounting for nonprofits and stuff. And I was doing coaching for entrepreneurs, and we merged our companies. And so we had to merge our logo. So the E comes from the Entrepreneur Incubator, and the M comes from Michelle Davidson Solutions. So we kind of put them in there. And so we have Entrepreneur and Management Solutions, which we've shortened now to EM Solutions. So the little men are really, really cute. Yeah, I like that.
They are gorgeous. So, I love it.
Thank you. Yeah. Great designers come up with clever ideas.
They do. Tell me about your YouTube channel. Oh, we got 2 actually.
I've got a whole yard. Again, we really struggle with it. I kind of just dump stuff into my YouTube channel. We've done so many different series. We've got our year end. We did a 90-day sprint and things. So every week at the moment, we're putting up new videos for nonprofits, and we're putting up a number of series. I've got a lot of teaching stuff. I've got a host of courses that we've got online as well on various platforms like Udemy and the like. Passive income streams, they called, which is very nice. And we also use a lot of that for free. So we've even done a course on how to do online courses, and that's kind of available on our YouTube channel, which again, we hand out for free. And last year, we put together a number of videos that looked at entrepreneurial training. And we called it Silver Solutions. And because one of our swords is a silver sword, so we thought, let's develop that into a Silver Solutions. And that's all on YouTube, but it's unlisted. And then what we did, we put a whole lot of workbooks together for that. And then we got a whole lot of other bonus material. And then we started interviewing clients and doing their videos. And we put together this 10-week program called Silver Solutions, an entrepreneurial journey to boost your business. And then we looked at the world and we're going, hang on, the world needs this for free. We cannot go out and charge it. So we give away so we charge, it would be sold at about 1,000 Australian dollars, I suppose. That would be a good price. So that's what it was priced at. And we've decided, no, we're just going to give that away for free. So it's available for free. So if anybody wants to go and get a 10-week entrepreneurial boost for their company, well, it's there and it's sitting, and all you've got to do is go to our website and sign up, and you'll get 10 emails over 10 weeks with videos and bonus material and coaching and books to read, which can only but improve what you're doing, no matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey. So we believe the more you give away, the more you get. And I think that's really interesting.
And you're right too, that marketing starts with a conversation. It's gone are the days where, and then we go to a network meeting, you hand out your business card and you have this whole elevator pitch, to get people interested. But now you have to actually, almost make friends with them before they'll even think about buying from you.
It's about trust now, not about sales.
Absolutely. It is.
People don't trust anybody anymore because of the world. And at the moment, we don't even want to stand close to anyone because we've seen them all as these weird germ petri dish type people. And now how am I supposed to use, so that's why I like online, because you can still connect with people without having to wear a mask, which is brilliant.
That's it. Absolutely. Love it. I love it. I hardly ever leave the house.
Haven't worn shoes for months.
Oh no, I hate shoes. I'd rather live in where I could just go with no shoes forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tell me, Bruce, where can people find you?
Okay, so the easiest place to find me is on LinkedIn. Just go to LinkedIn, type in Bruce Wade. I am there, easy to find. And other than that, you can find me or our company business and all the downloads at our website, which is em-solutions.co.za. We're a South African-based company, so it's co.za at the end. And that is online, and we've got our products, we've got our free Silver Solutions download, the book download, and you can read a lot about what we do with nonprofits and entrepreneurs and everything else around that as well.
Perfectly perfect. That's great. I'll remember to put those in the show notes when I put the video out.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Good. And I'll put a copy of your book link too. I'll see if I can find it on Amazon.
Yes, it should be. They approved the printed copy a couple of days ago, and they should be approving the e-copy this morning, hopefully sometime. So should
perfect.
Get that.
All right, I'll have a look. All
Perfect.
Right, Bruce. Any wise words before we leave?
I think wise words. Tomorrow is a different day, so don't do what you're doing today to get through tomorrow. Do something new, be creative, and push that envelope right off the desk. That's where innovation and the future holds.
Absolutely. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed our conversation, It was great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. You have a good night.
You have a good evening. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.